Happy Inauguration Day. Today we inaugurate the 46th President of the United States of America, Joseph R. Biden, and Kamala Harris is being inaugurated with a trifecta of firsts, becoming a historic first woman Vice President, first Black Vice President, and first South Asian Vice President. This is especially exciting for me as a mixed race woman, knowing that little mixed kids out there are going to see her achieve this and hopefully feel a little more seen in their own way. I'd wished I'd had a Kamala Harris Vice President when I was growing up. Anyway, jazz will be there for today's festivities, with Denise King and Eli Yamin performing at the virtual inaugural ball. I hear there's going to be a jazz club after party, so I'm really excited to see who else is going to be performing for that. Jazz has been a part of this historic day for decades, so I wanted to share some of those highlights in history with you. Before recent times, musicians often performed regardless of whether the elected president was from their chosen party or not. It was more of a celebration of the country and also a pretty killing gig. Some of the performances I'm about to mention were at the actual inauguration, and some were at the balls or other inaugural events, but jazz has always been there to celebrate these historic moments with song. We started in 1941 with President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who had Russian immigrant Irving Berlin, the composer of iconic jazz standards such as Blue Skies and Cheek to Cheek, and who also, fun fact, wrote God Bless America, land that I love. That was Irving Berlin. President John F. Kennedy had 5 inaugural balls, of course, which Count Basie performed at one. The main ball had Frank Sinatra as the master of ceremonies, and both Nat King Cole and Ella Fitzgerald performed. Wow. It's important to note that this was in 1961, before segregation ended in our country. Frank Sinatra invited both Ella Fitzgerald and Nat King Cole to come and perform, as they were exceptional and distinguished talents of that time, of all time. Side note, this took place 8 days before Frank Sinatra did a benefit concert at Carnegie Hall for Martin Luther King, and then he led a boycott against hotels and casinos that refused entry to Black patrons and performers. I know we're talking about inauguration, but I thought this was worth noting since our incoming president is calling for unity, and building on this kind of unity will help bring healing to our country. Sinatra also sang for both of President Reagan's galas and President George Bush Sr. President Richard Nixon had Tony Bennett and Baltimore jazz icon Ethel Ennis, who was the first person to sing the national anthem a cappella at inauguration. Aretha Franklin is not technically a jazz singer, but she sang a Duke Ellington medley for President Jimmy Carter's inauguration, so that definitely counts. Also, I could listen to Aretha sing the phone book and it would count. Ray Charles played for President Reagan's inaugural ball. Beyoncé, also not a jazz singer, but in honor of the role she had just played in the film about Etta James' life, sang At Last as the first dance at the inaugural ball for President Barack Obama. President Obama also had Herbie Hancock and Wynton Marsalis perform for inaugural festivities. And the winner with the most jazz performers at any inauguration is, not shockingly, jazz saxophonist and 42nd President of the United States, Bill Clinton. Let us not forget that we had a jazz musician for a president. He had Elvin Jones, McCoy Tyner, Etta James, Claude Fiddler Williams, Wynton Marsalis, Buck Hill, James Zimmerman, and Ruby Glover. Now that must have been some swingin' party. I hope you've enjoyed this look at jazz's role in American inaugurations, and I'm really looking forward to seeing which jazz artists will continue ushering in these great American transitions in the future. Thanks for watching.